Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. We'll be starting the session once everyone joins in. Thank you.
73 participants.
All right, guys, so let's start today's session. Today we are going to deal with Hydra, and we're going. All right, guys, let's start today's session. I hope you guys are doing good so far. Today we are going to learn a couple of new tools like Hydra, and we are also going to install a new lab altogether, where you'll be practicing what is pen testing and how to test different services and web applications. So this lab installation is going to be real important because this is the platform where you will start your practicing, a journey ahead. This will be the first one for you, and later on, of course, I'll introduce for you with a few more. But this will be the first one, so let's focus on how to install it. It's pretty simple, frankly, and the installation is also simple. We already have VirtualBox, so it's not going to be that difficult, right? I already have it in my VirtualBox, but I'll like install it from the very scratch for you guys, so you guys can also keep up with this pace. So let me introduce you to a concept of CTFs. What are they and why are they really important? Also, my chat box is always open, so if you have questions, you can put them up here, right? Okay, that's a very cute doodle here. Okay, let me get to my whiteboard. There you go. Okay. So when you talk about simulations, we know these are scenarios, these are virtual scenarios, right? These are virtual cases that we create in order to work with, right? In order to practice our skills, in order to test different environments and stuff like that. Such kind of a simulation that is created for testing purposes is called a CTF. A CTF is nothing but a virtual machine itself. It is short for capture the flag. Capture the flag. That's CTF. Okay. Now, CTFs are designed in such a way that they have a vulnerability, but they are more gamified version of simulations. It's almost like, consider that you are an attacker and there's a castle somewhere. It's like a castle, the throne of a king. And if I ask you to get the flag of the castle, right? Similarly, CTFs are nothing but another machine in your network. So let's say you are the attacker and this is another CTF that is in your network. Its IP could be x.x.x.x, could be anything. You are supposed to attack into the CTF. You basically have to hack it, right? That is the whole purpose. You have to exploit the vulnerability, find any possible entry points, and basically exploit it. But how would anyone confirm that you actually exploited, right? How would somebody confirm it? So it will be like I introduce you to my room, I bring you in here, and I confirm that I will only consider that you have hacked the room if you can find the hidden key that I have, hid somewhere inside the room. You just have to find it. And you won. This key basically decides it. They call this a key, or you can also call this a flag. So basically, your job as a tester in this gamified version is to basically capture this flag in order to confirm that you win. So you can install these CTFs, which are nothing but also virtual machines, because we just confirmed simulations are nothing but virtual machines, right? These are virtual platforms. That's why it's a simulation, right? If it's real, then of course it's real. So these virtual machines can be installed. They will act as any other machine in your network. It's just that you don't know anything about this machine, right? There's a big question mark. It's a mystery you have to solve, right? You work here as a detective, as a security expert. You are working as a security investigator, so cybersecurity investigator, and your job is to find that key and confirm that you win. Basically, that's pretty much. When I say win, then of course there must be people competing. That's when you win, right? Of course, there are CTF competitions, right? There are so many communities on the internet and there are so many competitions held. CTF challenges and CTF competitions are real competitive, gamified version of hacking. You can participate, you can find the key, and if you are the first one finding it, you win, obviously. Otherwise, there are so many challenges. There are just not one, but there are many other challenges there as well. So you can participate in them as well. You just have to like be a little bit more active on Discord channels or maybe on LinkedIn, on GitHub, or maybe any other social media where security communities are really active. So I'm going to show you an example of a CTF right now, which is called Metasploitable. Yes, there is another tool whose name is Metasploit, which is a totally different thing. For those who are confused, Metasploit and Metasploitable are two completely different things, have no relation at all. Okay, no relation at all. They're two completely different entities. You cannot say that because of this, it's named Metasploitable. No, totally different things. Okay, you don't relate them at all. They are two different things. This is a tool. This is a virtual machine. So potato and like oranges. So it's like that. Not even apple and oranges because they are the same category. It's like that. Okay, you got the idea. Now the question is, how would you really install this Metasploitable, right? I'll help you with that. So first, start with going on Google and type here Metasploitable download. The first link that you get is for this website called sourceforge.net. This is where you have to go on. When you open the website, you will see here the download green button, right? It's big enough to be visible, so I don't think like you will miss it. So click on the download button and you will see like a download just started. If in case it does not begin, if there is any kind of error that you see, you can simply click on problems downloading and it will give you these links to download from. You can also try that. In most of the cases, it works out, but if in case if yours is not working out, you can click on problem downloading and you'll get these links. So yeah. Well, for me, it has started the download process, but I'm going to stop because I already have it. So I'm not going to like re-download it all over again. So, okay. Also, Metasploitable servers, the servers for this web page are not that good, frankly. And they take sometimes hours to download this thing, right? So I have it on my drive as well. So I'll try to shave it from the drive, from my Google Drive. That will be a better option. I'll share you a link from my Google Drive. Just give me a second here, please. The download will be faster as compared to the website. For some people, the website might be really slow. So it's highly variable. I don't know what kind of servers they have, but that's how it is. So can't do much. Okay. In the chat box, I'm going to share a link with all of you guys. You can download this Metasploitable from that link as well. It's a Google Drive link, so you know how to use it. It's very simple. There you go. I've shared the link in the chat box for everyone. You can get it from there as well. Okay, moving on. That's Metasploitable. I've also prepared a guide for this, like it's a stepwise guide on how to install Metasploitable on VirtualBox, like a stepwise guide. You guys can follow that too. Let me check. Where is it? Okay, yeah, I got it. So I will be sharing this in the chat box as of now, but I will definitely also share it on the drive link that I have given you before. You guys can follow the same. Okay, now that we have it downloaded, let's just take a look where we have it. You guys might be having it somewhere else, but I have it in my other folder, so I'm going to go in that folder directly. Or actually, I'll download it myself, no problem. Okay, this is a drive link. When you open this kind of link shows up, just click on the download button. And it's a big file, so Google Drive cannot scan it, of course. It's 800 MBs, so just download anyway. It's not going to harm you, I assure. All right. This, by the way, will download a zip file. It is a zip file. That means it is compressed, right? So in order to make it usable, we have to decompress it. So that's what we will do after the download is completed, of course. And you can see clearly it is downloading faster as compared to the website. The drive link is faster, of course. It's Google Drive, so what can you expect? Okay. Moving on. What do we have? Almost there. It's almost done. All right, then. We have it here. So this is the kind of file you will be having after you download it. It's a zip file, so we have to extract it, obviously. So I will begin the extraction process. Simple. Just make a right click on this one, and it will show an option to extract all. Just click on that, and you're good to go. It will ask you to confirm, click on extract, and it will start the process. You see? For those who are having an error with the PDF file, it's okay. I'll share you from the drive link also. So you're going to get it. Don't worry about that. Zoom sometimes do not really transfer the files better because it kind of like compresses the files and it basically hampers the integrity. So that might be the reason, but it's okay. I've shared you the link for Metasploitable. You can follow the steps like the way I'm doing it. So you can see I have the extracted folder here now, Metasploitable Linux 2.0.0. So I'm going to open it, and you can see this kind of file here. These are all the files which we'll be working with. Now, our job is to import all these files in VirtualBox, right? That's what we have to do because we want it here, right? So what we're going to do is we'll start creating a new one, and that way we will proceed further. It's pretty simple. Just follow the steps. I'm pretty sure you will not face any difficulty. Click on the top, and there is a new button. If you do not see this new button, it's okay. Click on Tools. You will see these options like Preference, Import, Export, New. Click on New. Type here the name. I'm going to name it Metasploitable 2 because I already have it Metasploitable, so I'm going to name it 2 for that reason. Okay. We select the type Linux and we select the architecture version as other Linux. Okay. Make sure you do the same. Linux as the type and the version as other Linux. That will be the best one. Okay. Now click next. Here it's going to ask you the basic details. You don't need to really add some much. The defaults will work. Just leave it the way it is. Click next. Here is the important part. Understand the concept. Don't just copy and paste it. Just understand. It is asking to create a new virtual disk, but we don't have to create a new virtual hard disk. We just downloaded Metasploitable, right? We have to import it. So we will be importing the Metasploitable's hard disk inside my VirtualBox. So we already have it. That means it already exists. So we are going to use an existing virtual hard disk. That's what we're going to use instead of, creating a new one. We'll add a new one in here. That's what we'll do. So let's begin the process. Click on that and click on the yellow icon beside it. Here, I am having Metasploitable VMDK because I have done this before. But for you guys, it will not be there. You will only see probably your Kali and Parrot. So in order to add a new disk inside the section, click on the add button on the top. And then it shows you the place like where you can get it from. You can go inside Metasploitable 2. What's the matter? Am I not audible? Can you guys hear me, everyone? Please type yes or no if you can hear me.
Yes, Akash, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. There was somebody saying. So probably check your network, I guess. Right. Okay. We have a VMDK, but I'm not sure why does it say that it's not available. Okay, let me try it again. VMs, exploitable. There you go. Okay. So where I just extracted, we have to go there again and just check Metasploitable VMDK. This is the file that we have to open. You don't have to follow it. You don't have to rename it. I'm just renaming because I already have it. So I'm going to name it 2 for my reference. You don't have to do it. Just select the file simply and click open. So you will have the Metasploitable VMDK now added. And specifically, it will say it is not attached right now, right? It says not attached because everything else is added. This is the one which is completely that we added just now. So we have to attach it with a new virtual machine. So that's what we are going to do. It's like inserting a hard disk in a computer. It's just like that. So you are inserting the Metasploitable hard disk inside your virtual computer. So that's what you're doing. So select the newly added virtual disk and click choose. You can see here in this section, now we can see the name of the disk that we want to work with. And then click next. It will show you the summary of your configuration. Just click finish and it will be done. You will see a Metasploitable 2 just got created right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what you got to do, right? Simple, easy steps, nothing much. No rocket science. So moving on, what do we do next? That's important, right? But I really want to give a few seconds to those who really want to ask any questions regarding the same. If they are having any difficulty or any doubts, or you want me to repeat something in the process, let me know right now. The chat box is open so you guys can contribute. Anyone having any questions regarding the same? Mr. Raqib Ali, what seemed to be the issue? Well, if you're not able to find the file, it might be because you have not extracted. So if it's a zip file that you downloaded, I just told you have to extract it to make it usable. So focus on that as well. Okay, I'm going to show you the steps again. It's pretty simple. I'm going to be giving a quick recap. So you download this file that I just downloaded myself, right? I have it here. Once you have it downloaded, you will be getting this kind of a zip file that I have received, similar zip file. Just make a right click and click on extract all. If you do not see that, basically you have to extract the Metasploitable Linux zip file. You have to extract it, right? That's what you got to do. Simple stuff. When you do it, it will be extracted into a folder like this, like the way I have it here. And once you have this folder, you start installing it in the VirtualBox, right? So you have to create a new machine, add a virtual disk, create new, fill in the details. Once you put the details in, select Linux, select other Linux in the version. Type is Linux, version is other Linux. Click next. Keep the default hardware. In virtual hard disk, use an existing virtual hard disk, add the virtual disk here, and it will be done. Okay. I think it's pretty much understood so far. Okay. All right, let's begin with the rest of the stuff that we have. Oh, oops. Okay. So let's start Metasploitable. I'm going to click on start and it will open a black window. Now understand carefully because I know a lot of you guys are going to come to me asking this question. So let me just clarify it right now. Leave everything else and focus on what I'm saying. When you have installed this Metasploitable, it's just a machine in your network. You don't have to do anything in this machine. It's just a testing machine, right? You just turn it on, leave it aside, don't even care about it. You will be testing that machine in the network, which is Metasploitable, with your Kali Linux or with your Parrot OS, right? That's the attacker's OS, right? So you are the attacker. That's the target. So testing will be done from, of course, from the attacker's machine. It's just a simulation running. You are testing that simulation. You don't have to operate the simulation. Don't even care about it, right? Just forget if you even have it. Just leave it aside. Like this way, you'll be having a small black box available, right? At the end, you will see MSF admin console showing up there. There you go. It says Metasploitable is active. Right here, it says it. Right? There's this housefly here. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so this Metasploitable framework is now active. This Metasploitable machine is now active. That means you guys can test it. It is a live machine simulation in your network. You can also log into this machine, but as of now, that is not the concern. Just leave it aside. Forget about it. I'll go switch back to my Kali or my Parrot, whatever I have available, whatever you guys also have available. So it doesn't matter. So here's my Parrot. The question will be, how are we going to access it, right? I was doing some testing before, so don't mind it. Okay, moving on. Of course, we start with the basic network scan. So we do sudo ARP scan -- local to scan the IP addresses in my network. These many IPs are there in my network. There are a few devices today, I know. So we got to figure out which one's the target today. Actually, just a second, guys. Just a second. I might have to restart this thing, so don't mind it, please. Okay. My network is configured differently than yours, so I just had to do some configurations. So it's all good now. You don't have to do it, so you don't even need to care about it. So just ignore this thing. It's booting up. As soon as I boot it, I will continue. Okay, there we have it. So let's get back to our Parrot and scan. Okay, we have a new IP address here, 1.9, which wasn't there before, right? It's a new IP, so probably this is the one that we have to test, obviously. So it says unknown, and this is the MAC address. So let's scan with Nmap. Okay, let me open a new terminal. I'm going to make a very specific Nmap scan, especially for the operating system enumeration. Remember, I told you about Nmap and I told you about O-O is added in order to check the operating system fingerprint to see what kind of OS the system might be using. It doesn't show you the accurate, but at least tell you the highest potential operating system, so that can give you an idea. And of course, we have to boot Metasploitable to attack, because you cannot attack a machine which is not even booted, right? You can't hack a phone or a computer which is shut down. So it's very obvious you have to turn it on to work with it. You cannot talk to a sleeping person, so it's like that. Okay, so -O to check the operating system details. So let's take a look what kind of result we get. You can see these many port numbers are open. I think total 23 ports are open here. And additionally, I got to know the OS details here. It says it's a Linux machine, so it is completely confirmed that my target machine is this one, because it is also based on Linux. When we were configuring, we put the type as Linux, so we know it's a Linux machine. So we know it. This is the target. You can see it also have the FTP service up and running. SSH is also here, by the way. So why not try? We have tried FTP previously. Remember when I showed you how to hack into FTP? This is where I showed you. I basically hacked into Metasploitable's FTP in the previous classes that I've shown you before. For SSH, let's give it a try, because here we also have SSH. So my attacker's machine is going to pretend to be a client, but basically I'm the attacker. And this is the SSH server right here. It is running an SSH server. It is my target, which I am supposed to compromise. So let's see how we can do that. So what's the first thing that we need to know about SSH? We need to know the IP address, obviously. We also need to know the username, remember? Because that was the command, if I have told you this yesterday. Oops. We can close it. Yeah. So for SSH login, the commands goes as follows. Type sudo SSH username @IP address and - port number. Remember, if you have a different port number, you have to provide it, or the default goes as 22 or 2202, right? Or 2222, whatever. So this is the default template for the SSH connection command, right? You need a username and the IP address. We have only the IP address, which is 1.9. The username, I know I told you the username already, but what if you do not know about it? What if you don't know? Then what? How would you figure it out? Isn't it? That's a concern, right? How would you figure it out? See, I know you guys are not Linux geniuses, which is absolutely okay. Not everyone, I mean, on day one, you can't expect yourself to be an expert. It's all right. It's a gradual process to learn. But there's a great tool that is used by most of the Linux geniuses, which is called Enum for Linux. That's a name. Enum for Linux, which is a tool for enumeration for Linux. It enumerates more details about Linux. It gives you the baseline information, what kind of system it is, how many users and stuff like that is available on the system. So every time you're dealing with a Linux machine, you want to know more, just execute the tool and see the stuff happening. So I'm going to execute it and I'm going to show you how it works. It comes by default in Kali and Barrett. Don't need to install it separately. So here is the usage. Type sudo enum for Linux. -A is for like a basic scan. That's what you all have to care about right now. Otherwise, if I really explain the tool in depth, there's a lot of things you need to learn about Linux. You have to learn about how the Linux kernel works, like to the in-depth of it, which is beyond the scope of this course. So let's stick to the basics over here. -A is for, a basic average scan, like simple stuff. And then you give the target's IP address, 1.9. So this will be a really, really long scan. So have patience. There we just go. Whoa, really? Okay, it was really small. Well, generally it's really long, so that's what I meant by that. Okay. Oh, it says the server doesn't allow session using username and password, aborting remainder of test. Okay, so the server is basically not allowing you for this. So that's a exception basically here. But otherwise, in most of the cases, it works. It is just differently configured. So that might be the reason. It's okay. It happens. So in our case, for SSH, we know the username is MSF admin. IP address is 1.9. So the login becomes easier, but we still don't know the password of it, right? So if in case you don't know any of it, if you're not able to figure out the username either, so what will you do? I told you it's MSF admin, but what if you don't know, right? So let me explain you a really good concept, which will be helpful later also. The concept of brute force. It's important. Most of your social media accounts are hacked with this process. So you stay focused here. So imagine this is your website. What does your website majorly have? It takes in your username, your password, and it makes you click on a submit button. There goes your username, of course. There goes your password. Whenever a client is using it, he will be typing these two information and later he makes a click on the submit button, right? That's how it works. That's basic usage. Well, what happens in the background is when you click submit, this URL, this website URL, takes this information. This is your browser, by the way, just to let you know. This is on your browser. It takes all that input after the submit is clicked. It takes all that input to the web server. The web server have an attached database which have like all the data stored in there. So in fact, your username and password is also stored in the database, very obviously. So what will happen is whatever your username is, let's say your username is X and your password is Y. So it will check if X exists in the database, yes or no. Yes or no. Same goes for the password. It checks if the password exists on the database, yes or no. Actually, it's not a simple yes or no. This is a logical answer here, which goes by, it's either true or false. True or false. That means if the username exists, the condition is true. The login is a truthful thing. So it's a true case. So the true is for 1 and F is for 0. Zeros and ones. Remember, computer works in numbers, zeros and ones. So true is 1, false is 0. So if the condition is true, it will send that if both the conditions are true, that means username is also true, U is also true, and password is also true, then only it will confirm login successful, right? Otherwise, it will say failed. If any one of them is false, it will say failed. Both of them have to be true. So what's happening here is your inputs, whatever you're making in here, they are collected and verified on the database one by one. That's what's happening, right? This is how a general scenario works. Now, when we talk about brute force, what if I don't have a single username, but I have a list of it, right? I have maybe 100 usernames or 200 passwords, right? So what I will do is one by one, I'll try and see which one works out. So let's say I have a username called Akash, and I have 10 different passwords. Let's say testing. We have pass. We have random. How about log me in, admin, right? Let's take these 5. So I'll test Akash with all 5 of them one by one. If both the conditions are true, I'm testing if both the conditions are true. And if it still fails, I'll try another username. Maybe I'll try Rakib. And I'll try Rakib with all of them as well. Then I'll try, if it doesn't work as well, I'll go on something else. I will maybe try Ayush. And I'll try Ayush as a username with all of them. So basically, I am trying one single username with all the passwords one by one and waiting one by one. It's called brute forcing. That is basically what brute forcing is all about. Right? Now, obviously, none of us are that insane to do this manually one by one, because I can give you a list of 1,000 different username and 20,000 different password potentials, right? Potential passwords. So it will take months to do it manually. So we have tools for that. We have certain scripts that can do this kind of thing. So let me just show you a demonstration for that. Remember the tool yesterday I told you about, MSF Console? I told you about this tool in Metasploit also. MSF Console is amazing tool. right? We have compromised with some exploits. So let's use MSF console one more time for SSH this time, by the way. So in MSF console, there is an auxiliary. I'll show you that. Hold on. It's still loading. So let's wait for it. Okay, this is small enough. So if you will see here, there are these many auxiliaries, total 1200 of them, right? So these auxiliaries are nothing but different types of scanners. These scanners can be used for multiple reasons. They can also be used to create some attacks like brute force attack. So we're going to look into that. Okay. We are going to use one of the auxiliary for SSH. So what I will do is I'll start searching. I'll do search SSH. Simple, right? Nothing much. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Sorry. I got a lot of stuff, right? These are so many auxiliaries, so many of them. There's a whole list of it, right? So I will have to definitely choose one of them, and I'll tell you which one we are supposed to work with. Uh, 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 There's this one. Number 48, auxiliary scanner SSH login. In the description, it says SSH login scanner. SSL login check scanner. It checks if the login is possible or not. So let's just try this one. This one actually works. So I'm just going to copy the name of the auxiliary, of course. You remember the way we did in Metasploit with FTP. And I'm going to ask Metasploit to use this auxiliary so that I can start working with it. So once I've done this, press enter. The auxiliary is in use now. You can see it's available in the red. Now I will ask Metasploit. I know it's a tongue twister sometimes. I will ask MSF console to show me the options. There I have the options. Now, very carefully look at this. Here we have, of course, the requirements like the way we had in FTP as well. We have the requirement to fill for our host, which is not available. It's right now blank, but it is requested. So it is required. So you need to fulfill it. Port number is already given 22. So we don't have to worry about that. 22 is the default port that we have to work with. But interestingly, there are two more options. Two more options. If you have files that have the potential usernames and passwords, you can add these files here. And it will take those username and password one by one and check by itself. How? We can see we have pass file and user file here. So you see pass file description says file containing passwords one per line. User file says file containing passwords or usernames one per line. So basically, these are the files. We call these files as word lists. Or sometimes some people also call it dictionaries. Because dictionaries have words, these files have words. So that makes sense, right? Okay. So pass file and user file. We have two files. Although they are not required, but you can still add them because not everybody want to brute force with this particular module, the SSH login module. Not everybody want to brute force with it. But if you want to do it, you can add these things in there. It's a choice. That is why it is not required. It is not mandatory. But if you really want to do it, you can provide it. So let's start with it first. Let's give the R host first as of now. Set R host because that is our target. 1.9. Press enter. Our host is selected. Next, we have to define user and pass file. But we don't have it, right? We have not created any file at all. I'm sorry. So let's create the file. So I will go on my another terminal and I'll go on my desktop. So I'll start with creating a user file first. It's simple. It's a text file. So you just have to type here sudo nano users.txt. These will be the usernames, basically, potential usernames like Akash, one per line. So one in a single line and the other one in the other line. So Akash, admin, user, login, MSF admin, user admin, sysadmin, sys login. These can be potential usernames, Sometimes people use this kind of stuff. Let's also add Ayush here. Let's also add Divya also, or we can add many other usernames, basically. That's not the concern. Test, random, one more. So yeah, okay. These many usernames are enough. So let's save it first. Control X, Y, and enter. Done. We have users.txt, which is the username file. Now let's create a password file, the file that will contain potential password. I'll also show you a shortcut to this, but let's just stick to this right now. So starting the password is admin, Sharma, log in, let me in, log me in, MSF admin, sysadmin, test, testing, password, right? P at SSW0RD. People think that this is a really good one. They also think that P at SS@123. They keep these kind of passwords, So we have a list of passwords now also. Control X, Y, enter. Simple. So yes, Sunita, this is dictionary attack. Brute force attack, dictionary attack is the same thing. So now we have both the files that we require. We have a username file and a file for the passwords. So let's start using it in our Metasploit console here. I have to add it. So I'll be first setting up the password file, set pass_file. I have to give the complete location where my file exists. Otherwise, how would MSF console know where it is, right? So I have to give the complete location. It's in my home/parrot /desktop/passfile.txt, pass.txt. Next, I will also set the user file and also give the location for the same home/parrot/desktop/user.txt. There you go. Now, if I do show options one more time, you can see my additions are implemented. Here is my password file. There goes my R host. There goes the port number, and there goes the user file. So now if I start the exploitation process, if I ask it to exploit it, see what happens. Exploit, enter. What does it say? Starting brute force. That's what it's beginning with, because it knows that you have given it the username and password. So let's go. This will take time. Of course, it will do the brute force one by one, and then it will show you. So let's just wait for it. Oh, by the way, let me just stop it in between. Here's a thing called verbose. So the concept of verbosity in Linux is all about how the output is shown to you for a particular command. So when I'm doing this brute force, if I want to see all the attempts, if I want to see like what happened in the previous attempts, right? I just don't want to wait with a blank screen. I want to see every single step that the command is doing. Then I want the tool to talk to me, right? To communicate more with me. So as of now, the verbosity is false. That means it is not going to show me much. It's just going to give me the result. But if I want to be more, if I want the tool to be more, communicative, then I have to turn it to true. I have to change it true. Then you'll see the result will be different. As of now, I was not getting any results, all of us all together. But if I set verbose true, then if I start the exploit, we'll get more results. See, it failed Akash admin, it failed Akash Sharma. So it's going to show me for all of them one by one. So that's better, right? So we'll get to know which ones failed and which ones successful. So let's just wait for it. So it's failing these. See, as of now, it's checking Akash with all the password. Then it will check admin with all the password and so on and so forth. It will keep going on in the usernames and we'll finally get the one that we need. If there is a password which is the correct password or the correct username. Okay. So far, it's going good. Okay. We just saw a successful message. See, guys, right here. Here, this one says success, right? Let me mark it with my mouse. It will be better. This right here, MSF admin as a username and MSF admin as a password was successful. This gave out some output and hence it confirmed this worked. Otherwise, everything else stopped. Also, for my feasibility, it also opened a session for me. Session one opened, right? So at the end of the test, I will be having a session. So let's just wait for it. It's checking with the rest of the passwords also, if in case somebody else and any other password also worked out. So let's just have a look at it. Mr. Rahman is having any question. Please unmute yourself and speak up if you have something. You have the option to unmute.
Yeah, hi Akash.
Hi, Mr. Rahman.
Yeah, I'm here Sophie from Hyderabad. Question related to the brute force attack.
Okay.
What if the username and passwords have been encrypted and stored? Then how this brute force attack will encounter this?
Yeah, it's a good question. If the passwords and credentials and or everything that is stored in the database is encrypted, that's a whole different game in that case, which definitely I'll take up in the cryptography session. I'll take a session on cryptography and I'll teach you what kind of stuff happens then. There is a thing which we called a rainbow table attack. I'll show you a demonstration for that in the cryptography session. So wait for that. As of now, we're just talking about simple stuff. In cryptography, things changes like, dynamically. So we'll work on that. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And we have, I think, Gopi Kiran as well. Can you please also speak up if you have a query? I saw you raise a hand. Gopi Kiran Sadam, I think, right? So if you have a query, please, you can unmute yourself and speak up. Okay. Scanned all the hosts, execution complete. We got one valid access that was over here. Session is opened. So if you want to work with session and if you don't know how to open a session, I mean, it's available here. We already know how SSH works. So we know the username is msfadmin and the password is the same. So we can simply just type here sudo ssh msfadmin at the rate 192.168.1.9 and port number is 22. Enter. You want to connect? Yes, we want to connect. Press enter. Asking for the password, we type msfadmin. There you go, guys. Bingo, we got it. msfadmin at msloadable. Now we are connected to the target machine. If I do who am I? What does it say? I'm msfadmin. If I ask the IP address, what does it say? 1.9. I am the target now. That means I have logged into the SSH of the target machine. Just like we did yesterday, we configured the whole SSH thing, right? We configured the server, we set up the whole stuff, we started connecting. Today, we also saw how we can attack an SSH server if there is any. This was a simulation. This machine is a testing environment. It's okay. One big thing that you have to remember about dictionary attacks or brute force attacks, it is highly dependent on the kind of dictionary you are using. Now imagine, okay, hold on a second. Imagine if these two files, the username and the password.txt, if these two files didn't have the right credentials, then what would have happened, right? Then what? It wouldn't have logged in. So you are highly dependent on the kind of dictionary you are using, if they have the potential password or not. Now imagine, just imagine, like if there is some guy like me who is very well aware of the kind of password security I should have, and if I create a password something like this, although this is a very complex password, but just take a look. My name is akash.sharma.0904. This will be the base of my password. And what I'll do is I'll replace the A with @ symbol, all of them. I'll replace the S with number 5. I'll instead of this dots, I'll add a hash symbol, hashtag. Between the numbers, I'll add an underscore. Now you see what kind of password I just made. Is this something that you can assume? No, you cannot. Is this something you can guess? No, you cannot. And if you want to check the strength of this password, just go on the internet and type here password strength meter. So this website, passwordmonster.com, will tell you how strong your password is. And if I put something like akash.sharma. 3000 here, which is very good, by the way. But this password that I just created, I'm going to copy and paste it. This password right here, 1 trillion years. 1 trillion years. So it will be totally impossible to scare, it's literally impossible to crack it ever. And if you think this is really a strong password, let's just have a look at it. It takes 0 second to crack this one. It's really simple. Even pass at 123 is like 0.42 seconds. Simple stuff, right? These kind of passwords stand no chance, and that's why they are hacked. And it's important that the kind of dictionary you are having, they should have most of the password that commonly people use. But again, you cannot guess passwords like these. These are still very assumable. But still, if I choose a phrase like the cat drank my milk, right? And if I start randomizing it. E with a 3, A with a @ and I replace I with number 1, right? And in every space, I will add an asterisk. The cat drank my milk. Now what? How long will this take? Let's take a look. 269 million years, so it's pretty strong enough. But yeah, the first one is still strong. This one rules, right? And I can remember it easily because it's Akash Sharma 0904. But the kind of modification I've made, it's something that I know. You guys won't be able to figure it out by yourself. And that is the whole point when it comes to brute forcing. Your dictionary matters a lot. Yes, brute forcing can also be used for Wi-Fi cracking. I haven't taught Wi-Fi cracking yet. Maybe in the upcoming session, if we get a chance to work with wireless networks, I will show you a demo for that as well. But in wireless security, I will show you a demo basically for how to crack Wi-Fi endpoints. Right. Okay. We will work on that. Moving on. So yeah, that's how you actually crack a password with Hydra, with MSF console. Now for brute forcing, there is another tool called Hydra. It is now the thing is, in our previous example, we did brute force SSH. But we have to find this module SSH_login in MSF console, and then we were able to do it. What if I tell you we don't even need this thing and we can brute force anything you want? Let that be FTP, HTTP, SSH, Telnet, whatever you have, you can brute force it, but with the use of Hydra. So Hydra is an open source tool which is available in both Kali and Parrot. So I will show you a demo for that also. Now Hydra's example is a little bit complex. Try to understand. So the command goes simple. I'll tell you the command first in the notepad over here. Sudo Hydra, right? Capital L, then it takes the username file, user file .txt. By the way, this is case 1. I'll also show you case 2. User file.txt. Then also we give capital P, pass file.txt. Then we provide the IP address 168.1.9. Then we provide the name of the service that we are trying to brute force. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So this is case 1, by the way. Let me show you case 2, which is somewhat similar, but there's a slight difference. Small L, username, small p, password. So here, the capital L list of name of file, or actually list of usernames. And capital P, list of passwords. Whereas a small l represents specific username, small p represents specific password. But you can also create a case 3 by your own self, which might look something like this. If you don't know the password, you can add a list of passwords, pass file.txt, this way. But here you know a specific username, but you don't know the specific password. So by adding a specific username, you can add a list of password and vice versa. Is this clear so far? Type yes in the chat box so I can confirm this is clear. I want to see a couple of yeses. Come on, guys. It's a 3-letter word, not that big. Okay, I can see a few no's as well, so it's okay. I'll explain it. In Hydra, there are both, functionalities that you can opt for. Either you know the password, or let's say if I know the username is Akash. I know the username, which is username, but I don't know the password. So what do I have to brute force? Do I have to brute force username or password? Obviously the password, right? Because that's what I don't know. So what I will do is I'll add a list of potential passwords here. That means here a pass file will be added, but the username is going to be specific. That is why I used a small L, because my username is specific, Akash. If in case I didn't even knew Akash either, if username was also not there, then I would have used capital L, because I'm going to provide a potential list of usernames also, right? Okay, Savidhan is asking a really funny question. What if I don't have the IP? Then find the IP first, right? If you don't have IP, you don't even know if SSH is even there. So first try to get the IP of the target, right? And then you proceed with all this stuff. We came here by confirming the IP address. Then we confirmed that on this IP address, there is SSH running or not with Nmap. And that is when we decided we have to brute force. Otherwise, if you don't know that basic information, how would you come to this location, right? So common sense. Now, so if you have a specific username, go for small L. If you do not have any specific detail, you want to use a list of both the details like username and password, go for the capital L and capital P. That is how you denote both of the things separately. You can also use both of them at the same time by doing it this way, like the case number 3 I mentioned. Oh, come on. Well, see, web applications are attacked differently, a little bit differently. I'll tell you that in the web application web application module, how you can how you can brute force web applications with Hydra. As of now, we're working with services like SSH. So let's understand for this one. So a small L, like a specific username, if I have one, and if I don't have a password, then I put capital P. So that will be the case. So let's now try with Hydra, the brute forcing method, how it works out. We have both. We have the username text file and password file. So I'll type Hydra, capital L for users.txt. I have to give the complete location. That will be a better exercise. /home/parrot/desktop usernames users.txt. Let me make it full screen for you guys. There you go. Next, we provide capital P for the pass file, /home/parrot desktop pass file. Then I provide the IP address of my target, 1.9. My service that I'm hacking is SSH. So that given, I will press enter and leave the rest on Hydra. Let's see what do we have here. Okay. This is not an error. It's just a suggestion by Hydra. What exactly it's trying to say is many SSH configurations limit the number of parallel tasks. It is recommended to reduce a task, use T4. That means what we are doing is we are doing multiple tasks, right? We are trying to test multiple usernames at the same time. So multiple SSH configuration do not allow that kind of thing, that you cannot test multiple usernames. Test one thing at a time. So that is the reason we have to reduce the number of tasks to 4. Hence, I have to use -T4 in my command. So I'll use it this way. If if your tool is asking you for a specific configuration, then please follow it carefully. just add minus T4. I mean, hyphen T and number 4, just like this. Simple. I am doing as my tool is asking me to do because, of course, it's working for me. So, yeah, why not? So let's press enter and see the difference here. Let's see if it works. Maximum 4 tasks per one server, overall 4 tasks, 169 login tries. Okay, so it's going to try 169 times. So, okay, that's great, isn't it? Okay, it found one, by the way. Here it is, you can see. From my dictionary, it found the host is this. The login is MSF admin, password is also MSF admin. So bingo, right? We got it. Nailed it. Awesome. Good job, everyone. Hydra can be used for any communication-based brute forcing, like when you're communicating with a service like SSH, FTP, or HTTP, which is your websites. If you are, because somebody's asking me, that's why I'm saying this, because what was asked is if it can be used to unlock some phone, like lock screen. No, you cannot do that. That is not communication based, right? That's not network communication based. It's more of the gesture based because you are making gestures like touch screen and everything. So that's a different thing. Okay, somebody's asking how to end the searching process. If you want to terminate the process of any command for whatever what they are doing, if you want to terminate the command, the key is Control plus C. For termination of any command, you do Control plus C. For those who are using Mac, use the Command key plus C. For this is for Mac and this is for Windows. In Mac, we don't have the Control key. We have the CMD key, the Command key. So use that instead of Control. Okay, simple stuff. So yeah, that's how you brute force SSH with Hydra. Okay. Type VM in the chat box if you have installed Metasploitable on your virtual box. Everyone, please. Type VM in the chat box quickly. I don't see a lot of people have done this. There are almost 300 people and I'm only getting 4 or 5 replies. So I'm not sure what everyone else is doing. So if you have installed the VM, please confirm so that I can proceed further with you guys. If you have not, type no at least so I should know. Okay. The question, oh my God. Okay. A lot of you are not even getting the question. The question is, have you installed Metasploitable in your virtual box? Type VM if you have, and no if you have not. Okay. I see a lot of people have not. It's okay. You guys can do it later also. But based on whatever I've told you about Hydra, I would want you guys to form a command that can work to brute force on FTP. Anyone? Put them in the chat box. Whatever commands you create, put them in the chat box. What command can be used with Hydra to brute force into FTP? In the chat box, everyone, quickly. Oh, I can see a lot of good commands. Good job, everyone. You got the concept, so that's good. We have Santesh, you got it. As of now, it's only Santesh. Just type the command of Hydra that will be used to brute force into FTP. Okay, good job, Bharti Nikose. You got it right as well. Prabha, your command is incomplete because we have to also specify the protocol, so you forgot that. No problem. Okay, so the command for those who are still confused would be similar. It's exactly the same. It's just that you have to replace the protocol in the end with FTP, right? HTTP is a little bit different. There is a certain, very slight variation, which I'll teach you in the web application module. As of now, I think this is good enough. And of course, I'll share the guide for both SSH and FTP for Hydra, and to install Metasploitable as well. Let me know in the chat box if anybody need my assistance to install Metasploitable. Anybody who need help to install Metasploitable. Santesh needs it, so okay. I'll help you with that. Give me a second. This is what we do for FTP. I'm doing the same with Hydra. Parrot. Santesh, Savidan, Mr. Ali needs help. Rakib, I guess. Right. Okay. Okay, so it's attacking FTP now, by the way, you can see, with the same user list and password. We got it. Similar stuff works for FTP, so I think it's pretty simple, right? Nothing to worry about. Okay, I will stop my sharing for now. And Santesh, can you please share your screen with me? I'm going to add you as a co-host. Just give me a second. We have Santesh. Can you please raise your hand, Santesh, so I can see you in the list? Okay, I can see you now. You'll be getting an option to unmute, to share your screen. Please do that. Also, unmute yourself if there is anything that I can assist you with. Okay. You'll be getting a request option. Oh, okay. I don't have it. Okay, this is where you have it extracted, I guess. Open your VirtualBox quickly. All right. Click New. Type Metasploitable. Hold on. Click on Guided Mode at the bottom. Yeah, type here Metasploitable. Change the type to Linux. Keep everything else the way it is. Change it to Linux and version to Other Linux. It will be at the very bottom. Scroll down. Yeah, there it is. Other Linux. Click Next. Next one more time. Here, select Use an existing disk. Click on the yellow icon. Hold on. Yeah, wait. Follow the steps, okay? Click Add. Click on Downloads on the left. That's where you got it, right? Open the folder that you extracted. Open this. There you have it, isn't it? Choose. Next. Finish. Bingo. We got it, right? Okay. All right, then. I think it's all good to go for you. All right. Anybody else would like to take my assistance in this? I see Ms. Savidhan and Rakib also need help. So anyone who's available, Savidhan, can you please share me a screen? Savidhan, if you're available, please share me a screen, or Mr. Rakib, whoever is available, they can please share me on the screen so I can help you with that. Mr. Rakib, you can share it. Savidhan seems unavailable. I am audible to everyone else. I'm not sure, Mr. Nikose, Miss Nikose, I'm not sure why you can't hear me. So if anybody needs help with the installation, kindly do share me their screen so I can help you with it. Thank you. There we go. Okay. Rakib was sharing his screen, but he stopped. I'm not sure why. Okay. So can you show me where have you downloaded, Rakib? Rakib, can you please show me where have you downloaded Metasploitable? I see you have not even installed VirtualBox. Not good, buddy. Okay. I'm going to show it to you one more time. So guys, you guys can also understand how it's going to work. Okay. Just give me a second. Let me remove it and let's try it from the scratch so you guys can have a good experience. I don't want anyone to feel left behind. Okay. So there goes my screen on, I've shared it. Okay. So this is the file that I downloaded. For those who are still looking for the download link, there you go. I'm going to share that too. The download link is in your chat box now to download Metasploitable. There you go. So it will be downloaded. It will be downloaded in the form of a zip. That means it need to be extracted, and for which we will be extracting it by making a right click and click on extract all. It asks you this confirmation, just click extract. There you go. It's working its magic. Okay, we have it extracted now. You will see there is another folder that just came up that says that it is extracted right here. So this is going to be the one folder where I will be, having the file that I need to install on VirtualBox. Those who need those who need any assistance with VirtualBox download, please rewatch my previous sessions. You guys are really lacking behind and not practicing. So here is my VirtualBox. Once the extraction is done, I'm going to work on the VirtualBox, by the way, right? That's what I'm going to work with. So I will click on new. Okay. I'll give the name here, Metasploitable 2, whatever name you want to give, basically, and select Linux as the type, because Metasploitable is a Linux machine, right? It's a Linux-based operating system, so I select Linux. And then the version should be other Linux, because I am not sure what kind of Linux it is, so any other Linux. So it's going to be like a uniform platform. So I click next. Here in the hardware section, you decide how much RAM you want to give, how much hard disk you want to give. So I'm going to keep it default because I know Metasploitable knows how much it already wants, and this much is enough. So I'm going to keep it that way and click next. Then we have to select the virtual hard disk. Understand this very carefully. I am creating a new computer, okay? It have nothing in it. It's zero, nothing, blank. It's just a Linux configuration that I'm going to add. But I need an operating system, right? And operating systems are in a hard disk, isn't it? It's in your hard disk, right? Or maybe in your SSD or hard disk. Point is, if you have not inserted a hard disk, it will create a blank hard disk with no operating system. That doesn't make sense, right? So what we will do is we will provide our virtual hard disk that we just downloaded. We downloaded Metasploitable, right? That's the virtual hard disk that we downloaded. So click on use an existing hard disk file. You have it here. Now it is not showing the one that we are supposed to work with. So if it does not show, click on the yellow icon. Do not go next. We still have to add it, right? We have to select the one that we want to use. So click on add. What just happened? Why? Okay, anyway. And if you don't see your Metasploitable here, click on add button on the top. Once you have it there, it will say no matches found, whatever, just ignore it. Ignore it. Go to the location where you downloaded and extracted. I downloaded this in the downloads in the documents folder over here in VMs. This is where I downloaded and extracted. It's not going to show you the zip file because, of course, we cannot use it, but it will show you the file which we extracted. So I extracted it in this folder. I'm going to open this, and there it is. There's my file, VMDK file, virtual machine disk format, VMDK, right? That's the file. So I will select it and I will open. Now you can see it is showing. And if you analyze carefully, it says it is not attached because the other hard disk are attached to other virtual machines. But this hard disk is not attached to any virtual machine right now. So I'm going to attach it to a new machine, which I am just creating in the process. So that's what I have to specify. And I'll select it and I will click choose. I'll click choose and I can see it showing up Metasploitable VMDK now. Awesome job. Good, great. Click next. It shows you a summary of whatever you have done so far. I'm happy with all that. And click finish. Once you do it, you will see a new instance will be created, Metasploitable 2. And this is the new Metasploitable for you guys. To start, simple click start, and you will have the new terminal window. This is going to be a testing platform. Keep it aside and test with your Kali because you were asking that who can we attack and who can we test and who can we practice with? Metasploitable is it. Whatever attacks I've taught you so far, try it on Metasploitable. No, Xenia, the answer to your question is no. See, okay. Here's the thing. Now, in the very initial of the very classes, I told you a very specific difference between a VM and a dual boot. And why we are using VM. We are using VM with a purpose because VMs can be run, we can run VMs, multiple VMs at the same time. We don't have to stick to one operating system. I could have also told you to, create a partition in your hard drive and dual boot Kali Linux along with your Windows. So in one partition is Windows, one partition is your Linux. But that way the problem will be that you will only be able to use one at a time, either Windows or either Kali, right? That's a problem. What if I want you to practice on one more operating system? You would have to create another partition, right? So to avoid that hassle, I ask you to install VM. For the reason because I will be teaching you these CTFs. We have so many CTFs to work with. Empire Breakout, Keoptrix. There is also something called as a Nibble. There's so many of them, right? My point is VMs are better for practice purposes. If you do not have that kind of a lab setup where you have different servers, different what do you call different machines and stuff like that, or any cloud network, then you should be definitely sticking to VM. That is the best option for you to practice. So if you have dual booted, it's okay. Shift back to your Windows, install a VM, and start using it. You can use Kali Linux for whatever purpose you want, but for practice, you need a VM. That is the best way to, try it further. So that's the case. Okay. All right then. Okay. I hope that cleared your queries, and I hope it's good to go now. Please install Metasploitable, because in my next sessions, I am going to take a lot of examples out of Metasploitable. So I will hope that I'm going to assume now onwards that you will be working with Metasploitable. Tomorrow onwards, we are going to start some more interesting topics, especially with web applications. We're going to work with that. I'm also going to introduce you to a new simulation for web application testing, where you can practice all the attacks I'm going to teach you. And there will be some more services that will be introduced in terms of testing and exploiting, just like SSH and FTP. So yeah, that's what's going to happen tomorrow. We have successfully finished 9 days of training today. It's ninth day, and 6 more days are remaining. And there is so much I can teach you, trust me. But 6 days doesn't seem enough. But it's okay. I'll try to impart as much knowledge as possible with you guys. And yes, the answer to your question, Sunita, is yes. Just to let you know. Okay. All right then. In that case, I am open for doubt clearance. If there is any questions, put them up in the chat box. I'm available to clear out your queries, whatever would they be. I have shown twice today the demonstration on how to install Metasploitable, so I'm pretty sure it must be very clear by now, right? Just give me a second here, guys. Allow me a second. Let me just have a word with the team for once. Chandan, am I audible to you?
Yes, Akash.
Okay, just a second.
Yes, Akash, you can share, no
Okay,
issues.
thank you. Okay, for those who are willing to connect with me on LinkedIn, I just got the confirmation I can share my LinkedIn. So sorry I haven't done it so far. I just needed a confirmation from the team because I really don't want to go beyond any certain, boundaries or limits. So I've shared my LinkedIn in the chat box. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well if you would like for more study material or whatever you if you know what I mean. Okay. Moving forward, you guys have my LinkedIn now. For those who are asking about it since day one. Okay, moving on. I have a query from Savitan. He have some issues with his terminal. Savitan, if it is okay with you, you can share me your screen. Maybe I can help you better. Or if you want, you can research about the topic. I'm gonna send it to you in your chat box. It's a it's a specific error with Savidan, and hence I'm sending him personally. Don't mind it. If anybody have doubts, we still have 9 minutes left. I can still clear them up. So please let me know. Tomorrow we're starting new topics. So before we begin with new topics, if you have anything from the previous stuff, ask me now. All right, then. I don't see any further questions coming up. I will definitely see you next time in tomorrow's session. Till then, I wish you good luck. Have a great day and stay safe on the internet. Take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Back to the XLR team. Thank you.
Thank you, Akash.
Thank you. Have a good one. Everyone, please fill the links that have been shared with you for attendance and feedback. And yeah, that's it from my end. Thanks.
Akash, please share again that LinkedIn link they're asking.
Sure. No problem. I will do that. Give me a second. For those who are asking me for the LinkedIn, it's in the chat box now. And before you connect with me on LinkedIn, please fill the attendance link. It's important, guys. Okay. You can connect with me tomorrow as well. Attendance is just for today. So focus on that right now. All right. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Cheers.
Guys, I shared that feedback link. Please. If you have any queries also, please let me know in the chat box. I didn't get any queries, so there is no queries, it seems. Ashwini, materials you will get from LMS. You can check in that LMS, okay? You will get that. Any questions from YouTube people? I didn't get on LMS. Vishruti, please drop an email to edl@xeller.com. I'm mentioning the mail ID in chat box. Please take from there. We have 5 more minutes. If you have any queries, please let me know. I will try to clarify that. Shabina, I think you didn't attend first class. In first class, my team member explained about LMS and how you can get that LMS materials also. So from there, you can get to know. Harish, already I posted that attendance link in YouTube as well. Yeah, Kalpana, I'm sending that feedback link. So there is no more questions. Okay, we'll wind up for today. We'll meet you on the tomorrow on the same time. Thank you guys up to that. Take care. Bye bye.